The Galactic Council chambers fell silent as Ambassador Thexara of the Zolonian Republic stepped forward, her crystalline form trembling with barely contained fury. The holographic display behind her showed the smoldering remains of what had once been the most feared military installation in the galaxy. "Honorable Council members," she began, her voice resonating through the translation matrix with harmonics of distress. "The humans have done the unthinkable. They have obliterated the Krillian Nexus." A collective gasp echoed through the chamber. Representatives from dozens of species shifted uncomfortably in their environmental pods and gravity fields. The Krillian Nexus had stood for over 3 millennia as an impregnable fortress, home to the galaxy's most ruthless mercenary fleet. It had been considered mathematically impossible to assault. Council Prime Zephon, an ancient being whose gas form swirled in patterns of deep concern, spoke first. "Ambassador Thexara, please clarify. Are you suggesting that humanity, a species barely 2 centuries into interstellar travel, has single-handedly destroyed a fortress that has withstood the combined might of the hegemony wars?" "Not single-handedly," Thexara replied, her voice growing quieter, which somehow made it more terrifying. "They did it to repay a debt." The story unfolded like a nightmare made manifest. 3 solar cycles ago, the peaceful Yalan colonies had been attacked by Krillian raiders. The Yalans, being a pacifist species dedicated to botanical research and artistic expression, had no military capabilities. Their desperate distress call had reached human space just as the last of their orbital gardens were being destroyed. The humans had arrived too late to save the colonies, but not too late to find the survivors huddled in the ruins of their research stations. Captain Sarah Chen of the UES Defiance had knelt beside botanist Keelan as the gentle creature lay dying, his life force ebbing away like morning mist. "We couldn't protect them," Keelan had whispered in his species' melodic language. "Our children, the seedlings, all gone." Captain Chen had taken the dying alien's elongated hand in both of hers. "I give you my word," she had said. "This debt will be paid." The Yalans had a concept called Velthanor, a sacred obligation that transcended death itself. When Captain Chen spoke those words in their language, she had unknowingly bound not just herself, but all of humanity to an ancient covenant. What happened next had become legend, then myth, then something approaching religious doctrine among the galaxy's information brokers. Humanity had not declared war. They had not sent fleets or issued ultimatums. Instead, they had done something far more terrifying. They had gone quiet. For months, human merchant vessels continued their routes. Human diplomats maintained their posts. Human researchers published their papers. But beneath the surface, something fundamental had shifted. The first sign had been subtle. Krillian supply lines began experiencing inexplicable delays. Navigation buoys in their territory started malfunctioning. Communication relays developed mysterious interference patterns. Then the accidents began. A Krillian dreadnought's gravitational stabilizers failed during a routine patrol, sending the ship careening into an asteroid field. The investigation revealed sophisticated sabotage that bore no recognizable signature. A week later, the Nexus's primary orbital defense platform simply vanished. The automated distress beacon reported catastrophic system failure before going silent forever. By the time the Krillian High Command realized they were under attack, it was far too late. The humans had spent those months learning everything about their enemy. They had infiltrated Krillian computer networks not through brute force cyber attacks, but by befriending individual Krillians in bars and marketplaces across the galaxy. They had mapped every supply route not through military reconnaissance, but by offering better shipping contracts and then quietly analyzing the logistics data. They had studied Krillian psychology, Krillian culture, Krillian fears. They had learned that the most feared military force in the galaxy was afraid of one thing above all others: being truly alone in the dark. On the final night, every human in the galaxy simultaneously disappeared from public view. Every human ship went dark. Every human station ceased transmitting. For 12 hours, it was as if humanity had simply vanished from existence. The Krillians panicked. In their fear and confusion, they had consolidated their forces at the Nexus, believing safety lay in numbers. They had played directly into humanity's hands. When the humans revealed themselves again, they were everywhere at once. Not with massive fleets or planet-killing weapons, but with surgical precision that spoke of months of meticulous planning. Every Krillian ship found itself facing exactly the opposition needed to neutralize it, No more, no less. The Nexus itself had been destroyed not by overwhelming firepower, but by its own defenses, turned against it by human engineers who had spent months learning every circuit, every protocol, every failsafe. Ambassador Thexara's account concluded with the most terrifying detail of all. When it was over, she said, Captain Chen broadcast a single message across all frequencies. She said, Velthanor has been fulfilled. The debt to the Yalan people has been paid. Any who would harm the peaceful peoples of this galaxy should remember, humans always honor their debts. The council chambers remained silent for long moments after the ambassador finished speaking. Finally, Council Prime Zephon's gaseous form swirled into patterns that indicated deep thought. What of the human fleet? What are their demands? That's just it, Thexara replied. They made no demands. They simply left. Returned to their trade routes, their research stations, their diplomatic posts, as if nothing had happened. Representative Qualish of the Merchant Guild spoke up, his mandibles clicking nervously. Perhaps we should consider peaceful relationships with humanity. Ensure that we never give them cause to honor a debt on our behalf. Across the galaxy, a new understanding took root. Humanity was not the galaxy's strongest species, nor its most advanced. But they possessed something far more dangerous than superior technology or overwhelming numbers. They possessed the terrifying capability to become whatever they needed to become, whenever they needed to become it. And once they gave their word, once they acknowledged a debt, nothing in the galaxy could stand in the way of its payment. The Yalan survivors, now safely relocated to human-protected worlds, had planted new gardens. Their seedlings grew strong in alien soil, tended by human hands that remembered the weight of a dying botanist's gentle touch. And in the darkness between the stars, predator species whispered new warnings to their young. Never give the humans cause to honor a debt, for when they do not simply defeat their enemies, they become the thing their enemies fear most in their darkest dreams. The galaxy had learned to fear not humanity's strength, but their memory.